Time is the only resource we can't buy back, yet most entrepreneurs spend it on digital busy work that yields zero ROI. After analyzing hundreds of workflows, I've identified a specific bottleneck that kills productivity: the gap between human decision and manual execution. Today, I'm breaking down the exact 6-tool stack that has allowed me to reclaim 9 hours of my day, effectively giving me a 30-hour workday while everyone else is stuck in 24. We aren't talking about basic AI prompts. We are diving into deep-level automation, from autonomous research agents that synthesize a week's worth of data in seconds, to generative video systems that handle my entire content pipeline. I'm going to show you the before and after of my operational structure, revealing how each tool connects to form a seamless, self-correcting loop. If you are tired of being the bottleneck in your own business, pay attention. These aren't just apps, they are the gears of your new automated reality. Let's start with the one tool that eliminated hours of my meeting fatigue instantly. We are currently living through the greatest labor transformation in human history, moving from the era of SaaS, software as a service, into the era of MaaS, model as a service. Most business owners are still operating with a 2010 productivity mindset, where tools are just passive containers for data. But in 2026, if your tools aren't actively thinking for you, they are wasting your time. The 9-hour reclaimed figure I mentioned isn't just a catchy headline. It is the mathematical result of eliminating what engineers call cognitive switching penalty. Research shows that it takes the human brain an average of 23 minutes to fully refocus after a single interruption. Multiply that by dozens of manual tasks, and you aren't just losing time, you are losing your highest level of intelligence. To solve this, we have to move beyond simple automation. We are shifting from deterministic workflows, where you tell a computer exactly which button to click, to probabilistic agentic workflows. This means we are deploying AI agents that can reason, plan, and execute multi-step goals based on high-level intent. To understand the technical leverage here, we must look at the LLM context window. In the past, AI could only remember a few pages of information. Today, with context windows expanding to millions of tokens, we can feed an entire company's operational manual, 3 years of financial data, and every customer interaction into a single, digital brain. This allows the AI to operate with the specific context of your business, IA.SolutionsUSA, rather than giving generic, surface-level advice. Think of your daily workflow as a stack of API calls. Every time you manually copy data from an email to a spreadsheet, or summarize a PDF to write a LinkedIn post, you are acting as a human glue between incompatible systems. This glue work is low leverage and high friction. By using agentic orchestration, we are replacing that human glue with automated logic. The reason most people fail to see results with AI is that they use it as a Google Search 2.0. They ask a question and wait for an answer. That is the equivalent of having a Ferrari but only using the radio. In this deep dive, I'm going to show you how to engage the engine. We will analyze the technical synergy between 6 specific platforms and how they create a flywheel effect, where each tool's output becomes the next tool's input without human intervention. Whether you are a solo founder or managing a global remote team, the logic remains the same. In 2026, the competitive advantage belongs to the architect, not the operator. Let's break down the first pillar of this 9-hour reclamation, the end of manual information synthesis. To reclaim your first 4 hours, we must systematically dismantle the 2 biggest resource drains in modern business: unstructured research latency and institutional knowledge loss. This brings us to tool number 1, Perplexity AI, specifically leveraging their Pro reasoning infrastructure. Most users treat search engines as a directory of links, which leads to cognitive fragmentation, the act of opening 20 tabs and manually synthesizing conflicting data. Perplexity eliminates this by utilizing RAG, retrieval augmented generation, at scale. Instead of just indexing keywords, it converts your query into a high-dimensional vector and matches it against live web data, filtering for authority and recency. In my technical operations at IA.SolutionsUSA, I use Perplexity as a lead engineer for rapid prototyping. For instance, when troubleshooting a deployment error in a Python script, I don't just Google the error code. I ask the agent to analyze this traceback, cross-reference it with the latest library updates from GitHub, and provide a patch that adheres to PEP 8 standards. Within seconds, I receive a verified code snippet with technical citations. The result? I've reduced my technical research time by 85%. By using collections, I can create a persistent memory silo for a project, allowing the LLM to maintain state and context over weeks of development without having to re-upload documentation every time. However, external data is only half the equation. The most valuable data in your company is currently trapped in unrecorded conversations. This is where tool number 2, Fireflies.ai, becomes your operational ledger. We are moving away from meetings as ephemeral events and turning them into searchable data assets. Fireflies doesn't just record audio, it performs asynchronous multi-speaker diarization. This is the technical process of identifying unique voice prints and assigning them to specific identities with 98% accuracy. But the real power lies in the semantic search within the transcripts. I have established custom topic trackers that scan every call for keywords like budget, blocking issue, or deadline. The measurable result is the total elimination of the recap culture. Instead of spending 30 minutes writing a summary after a 60-minute call, the AI generates a meeting sketch with a sentiment analysis graph, showing exactly where the client felt hesitation or excitement. This has allowed me to implement a no meeting required policy for 50% of my previous schedule. I can simply query the meeting vault. What were the specific hardware constraints mentioned by the CTO in yesterday's call? And get a precise answer in 5 seconds. By integrating Perplexity for external intelligence and Fireflies for internal data capture, you have effectively eliminated the input-output bottleneck of your business. You are no longer managing people. You are managing a synchronized flow of high-fidelity information. To truly reclaim 9 hours, we must move beyond simple automation and enter the realm of agentic orchestration. This is where we stop building linear zaps and start building autonomous loops. Tool number 3 is Make.com, and its power lies in its ability to handle JSON parsing and conditional logic routing at a professional scale. While basic users get stuck with one-to-one integrations, I use Make.com to build multi-threaded workflows. For IA.SolutionsUSA, I've engineered an autonomous content validator. The technical breakdown: when a new trend is detected via a custom webhook from a research agent, Make.com doesn't just notify me. It initiates an HTTP request to a vector database, compares the trend against my previous 50 videos to avoid redundancy, and then utilizes a JSON transformer to structure a prompt for an LLM. This process involves recursive error handling. If the AI's output doesn't meet my predefined quality tokens, like specific keywords or length, the system automatically triggers a refinement loop until the output is perfect. The result: I've eliminated the 2-hour daily brainstorming and validation phase. The system presents me with 3 validated high-probability content ideas every morning, already cross-referenced with SEO data. We are talking about a 95% reduction in strategic latency, the time between an idea forming and the technical blueprint being ready for execution. But the most time-consuming bottleneck for any creator is the post-production pipeline. This is where tool number 4, CapCut Desktop Enterprise AI Integration, changes the game through neural timeline processing. We aren't just trimming clips anymore. We are using optical flow and scene intelligence. When I import my raw 4K footage, I use the auto-reframe feature, which uses computer vision to identify the most salient object in the frame, usually my face, and keeps it centered in a 9:16 vertical crop regardless of movement. This alone saves me 30 minutes of manual keyframing per video. Furthermore, the speech-to-song and AI voice isolation algorithms use deep learning-based noise suppression to isolate my vocals from background hum at a frequency level. This means I can record in a non-treated room and still get studio-quality audio with one click. But the real 9-hour miracle is the smart B-roll engine. By analyzing the NLP, natural language processing, markers in my voiceover, CapCut suggests and syncs stock footage overlays based on semantic relevance. It identifies when I say artificial intelligence and automatically drops a 4K neural network clip onto the timeline exactly where the word starts. The result? I've moved from a 12:1 editing ratio, 12 hours of editing for 1 hour of video, to a 1.5:1 ratio. By delegating the low-level tasks like subtitle syncing, color matching, and silence removal to the AI's inference engine, I've reclaimed 3 hours of high-concentration labor every single day. The friction between my creative intent and the final export has been reduced to near zero. We have reached 7.5 hours of total reclaimed time. Now, let's look at the final 2 tools that handle the visual identity and project architecture of our 9-hour workday. We have automated our research, our meetings, and our video production. But there is still a hidden time thief that kills productivity, creative paralysis, and project fragmentation. This is where we reclaim our final 2 hours. Tool number 5 is Canva Magic Studio. For a content-heavy business like IA.SolutionsUSA, visual identity is everything, but I am an engineer, not a graphic designer. In the past, creating thumbnails, LinkedIn carousels, and brand assets took me at least 90 minutes a day. Now, I use Canva's Magic Switch and bulk create features. The technical edge: by connecting a CSV file, which is automatically generated by my make.com workflow, into Canva, I can generate 30 social media posts in exactly 45 seconds. The AI handles the dynamic layout adjustment, ensuring that my brand's hex codes and typography are perfectly applied to every format simultaneously. Furthermore, the Magic Media text-to-image engine, powered by Stable Diffusion, allows me to generate custom, copyright-free assets for my thumbnails without ever leaving the tab. This has reduced my design overhead from 1.5 hours to a mere 10 minutes of final approval. We are moving from designing to curating. Finally, to hold this entire automated empire together, we use tool number 6, Notion AI. Most people use Notion as a simple notebook, but I use it as a relational database with an AI inference layer. The biggest drain on an entrepreneur's time is context recovery, trying to remember where you left off on a project. The result? Notion AI acts as my corporate second brain. When I start a new project, the AI automatically populates the technical requirements, milestones, and risk assessments based on my previous successful projects. It performs semantic cross-linking. If I'm writing a script about AI agents, Notion AI automatically surfaces all the research notes I gathered in Perplexity 3 weeks ago. This eliminates the need for manual filing and searching. I save at least an hour a day by simply asking the AI, summarize the status of the Tasty Bites LLC registration and list the next 3 technical steps. The conclusion of the stack: by integrating these final 2 pillars, we've reached the 9-hour milestone. We have replaced manual design with bulk generative workflows and replaced project management with automated context retrieval. You are no longer working in the traditional sense. You are orchestrating a high-output digital machine that scales while you focus on the next big idea. Now, let's wrap this up with the exact roadmap to implement this tomorrow. We've covered a lot of ground today, moving from the cognitive friction of manual research with Perplexity, to the autonomous execution of make.com, and finally the creative scalability of CapCut and Canva. But here is the hard truth: tools alone won't save you. The 9 hours I reclaimed didn't come from just buying these apps. They came from a fundamental shift in how I architect my workflow. You have 2 choices today. You can continue being the operator, the person who manually glues these systems together until you hit burnout, or you can become the architect. Start by implementing just one of these pillars this week. Automate your meetings first, then your research, and then your content. If you found value in this deep dive, you're exactly the type of entrepreneur we're building this community for. At IA.SolutionsUSA, we don't just talk about the hype of AI. We build the technical infrastructure that powers real businesses. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and check the description below for the 9-hour automation blueprint I've prepared for you. The future belongs to those who can manage machine logic at scale. The question is, what are you going to do with your extra 9 hours? I'm Christian, and I'll see you in the next masterclass. Stay automated.